You know that promise we've all heard? That there's one book out there that can just completely change your life? But is that actually true? Is it really possible?
All right, so let's get right into it. The answer? Yes. 1,000% yes, but, and this is a big but, it's almost certainly not in the way you're imagining it works. So there's this great story about a speaker who picks up a book on chaos theory. You know, the whole butterfly effect idea, where tiny little changes can cause these massive, unpredictable results. For this guy, it was a total lightning bolt moment. After he read it, his entire worldview shifted. So of course, he tells all his friends, you have to read this. And what happened? For them? Nothing. Nada. It was just another book on the shelf. So what gives?
And this gets to the heart of it. The paradox, the real secret, isn't in the book at all. It's in the reader. The magic wasn't in the ink on the page. The difference was that one person was ready to hear what the book had to say.
Okay, so this brings us to our first big idea. A truly life-changing book. It doesn't just find you by chance. It's not an accident. It appears, almost like magic, right when you're already searching for something, when you're looking for an answer.
It's kind of like Neo in The Matrix, right? Morpheus didn't just randomly pick his name out of a hat. He found Neo because Neo was already searching. He had that splinter in his mind, that feeling that something was just off. He was looking for answers. The book, that's your Morpheus. But you have to be Neo first.
So you can really break it down into 3 steps. It starts with that gut feeling, that sense that something isn't right. That's step 1. Step 2 is when you start actively looking for an answer. And then, finally, step 3. You find your catalyst. That's the book. It doesn't put you on the path. It meets you on the path you were already on.
All right, let's move on to our next big idea, which is so important in the world we live in today. It's what we'll call the magic of slow reading. And yeah, it can literally rewire your brain. See, in our hyper-fast scroll world, the most radical thing about a book is actually its slowness.
I mean, just look at the difference here. Digital content, it's fast, it's fleeting, it gives you the images, the sounds, it does the work for you. But a book is totally different. It demands that you slow down. It demands your full focus. And most crucially, it makes your brain do the work. You have to build the world from scratch. You are forced to imagine.
And you know what's funny? The real change, the actual transformation, it doesn't even happen while you're reading. It happens in those quiet moments after you've closed the book, when you're just sitting there, thinking about it. That's when your brain is hard at work, building new connections, forging new pathways. It's literally changing the way you think.
And that brings us to a pretty wild, counterintuitive idea. We think the goal is to read as many books as possible, right? To get through that huge pile on the nightstand. But what if the real goal isn't to get through books, but to let a few profound books get through to you?
The philosopher Schopenhauer was all over this, like centuries ago. He warned that just reading tons and tons of books can become a form of thought laziness. Basically, it's a super easy way to avoid thinking for yourself. You're just outsourcing your thoughts to other people. Because true change doesn't come from just consuming information. It comes from engaging with it. It's about wrestling with an idea, arguing with the author in your head, really grappling with the text until it becomes a part of you. So how do you actually do that? Well, for one, you reread. You find those handful of books that really matter to you, and you go back to them. You also have to match the author's effort. I mean, they spent years writing it. The least we can do is give it our full focus. And this is the crazy part. Sometimes it means spending days or even longer on a single page. It's about depth, not speed. Okay, so what's the point of all this hard work? What's the end game? Well, that brings us to our final and maybe most important idea, building your inner world. Because the real prize of deep reading isn't just knowing more stuff, it's about gaining control of your own mind. Think about it like this. The reader's mind becomes self-controlled. You learn to generate your own thoughts, your own entertainment, your own rich inner world. But the non-reader's mind, it tends to be externally controlled. It's always waiting for the next ping, the next video, the next distraction to tell it what to do and what to think about. It's a huge difference.
And what this practice really builds is a legitimate superpower, your imagination. I'm serious. It's the ability to look at a bunch of black squiggles on a white page and build an entire detailed universe inside your head. Movies and games are amazing, but they give you the world. Reading teaches you to create the world. It's a fundamental difference.
So, let's bring it all home. What is a book really?
What does it show you? Is it just a window into some other world?
There's this incredible quote that says, "A book is a mirror. If a monkey looks in, you're not going to see an opossum looking out." And that's the whole point. At the end of the day, a book doesn't show you something new. It shows you yourself. It reflects back what you bring to it, your questions, your worries, your readiness. So the real question isn't, which book will change my life? The real question is, am I ready to be changed?